Okay, this is Mr. Sparrowhawk. I'm on the Standard of Excellence book, playing my bass guitar. We are going to be playing through page 8, and we're just now introducing, we have 3 notes so far that we know, and we're just now introducing quarter notes. So let's play some quarter notes, and on a stringed instrument like this, you're basically learning to cleanly sort of go over and over again on one string or on one note. And when you're playing a fretted note, how well are you, consistently are you striking the string? Are you feeling where that note is, developing that muscle memory depending on which string you're playing? Okay, there are 2 strings so far. There's one little rhythmic change you got to be careful of at the end. You're going from the C down to the B flat quickly. It's a long note, so just be ready for that. Always keep your eyes on the music. Okay. So here's number 15.
One, 2, ready, play.
Even on that last note, we're counting in our heads because we need to know when to stop the note, right? We don't have a conductor in front of us going, stop, right? So you have to just count sometimes, and you can really do a lot just if every individual member does its part correctly. It's really an amazing thing to hear it all come together. So number 16, we're playing now one of our favorite band songs ever. That seems to be in every instrument I've ever learned to play. I've had to play this song or gotten to play this song. And it's called Hot Cross Buns. So it's our first 3 notes, playing a melody. There's a little bit of pattern going on, but not too much. And it uses all 3 types of notes. So let's try it. Number 16.
Number 16, Hot Cross Buns.
Starts on our open D.
1, 2, ready, play.
Okay. Number 17, Clair de Lune is another one of those melodies you'll probably recognize. It's a little bit trickier because there's more movement in this one than Hot Cross Buns. But you can always slow this down if you need to when you're learning it. Once you get the first 4 measures, you'll find that there is something familiar after that. So don't worry too much if it seems like a lot to learn. Just concentrate on those first 4 measures. Let's hear it. Number 17, Clair de Lune.
1, 2, ready, play.
Now, since we're getting into some songs that require some reading from the band side of things, so with the trumpets and the clarinet players and stuff, they start dealing with when to breathe and things like that when there's no rest written in. And a lot of times when you're playing in a group like that and you're playing a song together, you should do, if the whole band decides to breathe in one spot before a chord comes in, you should do that with them, okay? If you notice that the ensemble does it when they play this particular song all in the same place, go ahead and do it with them. That's okay. That's an ensemble thing to do. Okay, you are working to make the ensemble sound more together. If you just kept playing your note long and everyone else was playing it short, it'd be a little weird because you're affecting the overall sound in a bad way. You're making it not sound as together, okay? So together is good, okay? But generally, you want to keep things sort of smooth and learn how to get that smooth sound or that smooth sound back and forth from note to note and string to string. We're on Down by the Station, number 18. Let's give this one a try. This one has a lot of resting in it, so you're practicing dampening those strings out.
Number 18, Down
good to use both hands if they're available.
1, 2, ready, play.
All right, a lot of dampening on that one. Number 19, we are learning a new note. So we have been playing a D as our highest note, an open D. What we're going to do, just kind of like our first fret B flat down on the A string, we're going to first fret our open D and get our E flat. Now our highest note. You can kind of see how the pattern moves from low on these strings up to high. B flat, low, C, second to lowest before, and then D was the highest open D. And now we're moving up again, so up the fretboard, moving this direction, right? And the notes get higher and higher as we move up. Right? And I'm sure you've experimented with that and understand that, but just in case you haven't explored much, that's the way it works, right? So we're up to our highest note, E flat. Easy Street is nice because it walks step by step through our 4 notes that we know so far. So it's a good way to start with that new note. Let's try it. Number 19. Easy Street. E flat.
1, 2, ready, play.
We are at number 20. We have our same 4 notes. So E flat is our highest note, our new note. And we're moving up and down the scale, mostly down. But then there are some jumps and skips. And when when you start getting used to like thinking of the notes in order from high to low and noticing on the staff when you're connecting those dots and going from note head to note head, and it moves up and down a little bit, then that's a step. And if it's moving a little more, and that you're skipping a note somewhere in that pattern, and if you move really big, occasionally, which this one does both, then you may be skipping 2 notes in the pattern. And the more notes you know, the more notes you could be skipping, right? So you learn to see these distances between the notes, as well as identify them eventually. But for now, you just want to see them. You want to notice they're bigger or smaller, right? All right, here's number 20, Country Walk.
1, 2, ready, play.
Going from the lower note, the B flat, up to the higher note, E flat. There's different ways you can kind of do that. I sort of cheated sometimes by leaving my finger there, and so I'm playing the B flat, but then I have to really lean on the middle part here of my finger to get it to that part of the string to go down, and even then I'm getting some fret noise, some twangy, right? So you have to get it all the way down if you're going to be playing that and doing that. You have to really have strong fingers to be able to push down that hard. You don't necessarily want to start out beginning band doing that, so you can switch fingers like I did right at the end, going from a B flat, and just use a different finger on the same fret. Or you can pick it up, allow there to be a little bit of space, and just kind of move it. That works just as well. You just don't get quite the smoothness. So it's totally up to the situation, really. Okay, whatever makes sense. All right, moving on to number 21. We have a new note now. We're playing our first finger, first fret, E flat on the D string. Now we're going to be playing third finger, third fret, or maybe your tag team fingers here on the third fret, and that is an F. So that's the next note up in the scale beyond E flat is F. So our lowest note, it's always good to put those notes in order like we do on the scale. Go up and down, be really familiar with that pattern, okay? Moving from the low to the high. And you're thinking of what the fretboard looks like probably. And where you're putting your fingers, and then you're not putting your fingers, and then you're putting them there, and then putting them there, right? So that's the picture sort of that you can hopefully see in your head, and think of those as that order, lowest to highest. Okay, number 21, we're adding a new note. We have an F, which is, if you remember our E flat being the top note, we know so far as first fret on the D string. Okay, if we move that up to the 3rd fret and use our 3rd finger, or a combination of 3rd and 4th fingers, if we have small hands, then we have now our newest highest note, which is an F. It's the 4th line on the staff, counting from the bottom. So here's number 21, starting out on our newest note.
1, 2, ready, play.
All right, and our last song on the page, number 22, is for basses only. And this is, if you have a trombone book by any chance, it sometimes works well with the beginning bass, for the notes at least, not necessarily for all the technique stuff they teach in that one, but some of the instruments have different exercises, different versions of working skills that are important to that instrument. For us, it's sort of going back and forth between two notes to start out, and then between the 2nd and 3rd note, and learning to do that smoothly. And then at the end, it takes you through all 5 notes. Okay, you want to practice those last 2 measures a couple times, get sort of used to the flow of those 5 notes in a row, and then put it with the other notes. And it helps you, just get comfortable with being smooth back and forth, and knowing when to dampen and how to dampen, and what the way that works the best for you is. Because there's lots of choices in many of the techniques that we're learning. So when you make those choices, just make ones that make sense to you and that you're willing to stick with. It takes consistency to really get good, or to hammer something in. So going back and forth between 2 notes, starting on a low B flat, and slinking around. This has no recording, so I'm just going to count this one off myself. I'll try to tap my foot. 1, 2, ready, play. 3, 4, C to D. 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay. So that's all for this page for now. And so wish you luck, and not only that, but just work hard and practice, because that's what makes you better. The more you play, the better you're going to get. And hopefully if you're practicing the right way, then you're going to get better a lot faster, because the tips we give you usually as music teachers are the ones that work the best. Sometimes there are different answers, and sometimes there are choices on which way you can do. But if your music teacher is telling you to do one thing, just try to do that the best you can, and then maybe you get another teacher that can say it in a way that makes more sense to you another time, or maybe it's actually something that you shouldn't be doing, that maybe there is a better way to do it, and the teacher just didn't know. And that happens too. I find myself not knowing sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're willing to learn and trying to better yourself, and not just be stuck on one way of doing things. So it's good to try these other ways, and then hopefully you come back to the way that makes the most sense for you, of course. Okay. All right, so we'll see you on the next page. Bye.